Hello, welcome back to 1001 Beers You Must Try Before You Die. We've visited quite a few countries today already, and we're now going to another one, the United States of America.
Woo!
First brewed 2006, it is 5.2%, however, I think it might be 5.5 now.
Ooh, gone up.
And it is Coffee Bender by
Hey!
Surly Brewing Company.
Coffee Bender.
Coffee Bender. Do you want to go on a Coffee Bender?
I'm a child and I can't stop sniggering at that
Okay.
name. And apparently their main beer is called Bender. You've told me. Yes.
So it's the coffee version of their main beer called Bender. I mean, it makes sense as a beer concept. Going on a bender is a thing, right?
I don't know. Well,
It's also
you can have a bender in a bun.
you can have bender in a bun,
back in your wimpy
or
days.
you can be, or it can be a slurs on a gay man in a bender. I suspect it's relating to the alcohol-related shenanigans.
I would assume so.
I mean, it won't be the sausage in a bun from Wimpy.
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. It's brown. It's,
Okay, well, interesting.
that's basically spot on.
Interesting. So,
I'll leave
taste.
a little bit in the can.
Thanks. Tasting notes. Coffee Bender is deep amber brown in colour with a fluffy tan head. The nose is redolent of fresh roasted coffee and sweet malt.
Redolent.
I've never heard that word before, but it's in the tasting notes.
I think it's redolent, isn't it?
Either way, I don't know what the word is. Thick with coffee flavour, it's surprisingly drinkable and well balanced with sweet toffee, caramel, and vanilla notes, and just a touch of hops in the finish. What does redolent mean?
It's basically like reminds you of.
Oh, so it's
similar,
not
yeah.
redolent.
I think it's red. I think I've. Perhaps we'll get Google to shout it out in a bit if I remember.
Right, so the can looks like a coffee beer. Coffee Bender.
It doesn't. It's not the most. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not the most classy can in the world.
It's a bit basic.
It would stand out. It looks more like looks more like an Alco pop. To a certain
Yeah,
extent.
so brown ale, coffee added, rich malty, roasty, brewed in can by Surly Brewing Company, Minneapolis. So that's where it's from. It's from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota, is that like halfway down on the?
No, it's very north.
It's north, is it?
Very north,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know my US states that well.
Borders with Canada.
Oh, okay. Redolent.
Redolent.
Let's see.
How does it say it?
Let's get the volume up.
Yeah.
Redolent.
Yeah, redolent, not redolent.
Redolent.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you went full Matt Barry. Redolent.
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 Oh wow,
Right.
there we go. Right, so it looks the part, that's for sure. Should we go for the smell?
Yeah, coffee.
Oh, it smells quite bitter, but quite coffee-ish.
It does smell very bitter.
Like smells like a very dark roast.
It's more Maxwell House than Lavazza on
It
the
is.
nose.
Right, should we go for the taste then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Bitter.
It is bitter, but
Nice.
it is nice. It's got
Full.
it tastes sweeter than it smells, definitely.
Yes.
It ends with, I would say the aftertaste is better than the initial taste. Because the initial taste is full on bitterness, and then it rounds out this kind of like sweet roasty toastiness.
Yeah, the middle kind of mellows out a little
Yeah,
bit.
you got
doesn't
this almost like sort of hints of cocoa to it. And because it's a brew with oatmeal, that gives you that kind of slightly more creamy taste.
Yes, it is creamy, definitely. It's a sort of a, the Italians would call it a lunghi, I think, a long coffee.
Yeah, so it is. They basically use their base oatmeal brown ale. They using Belgian and British malts, which is interesting. They add cocoa, coffee, caramel, and vanilla and cream. That's what the malts give it, and then the oatmeal adds a velvety smoothness and rounds out the beer. So apparently they take the base beer and cold press it for 24 hours in ground coffee beans,
Oh, okay.
which is really interesting. From the Vinca Vista Hermosa plantation in Guatemala. This process removes a portion of the acidity, giving it less bite and smoother flavours. Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
So it's more like a cold brew coffee ale.
Yeah. Which I guess has that feel It's
The beer is meant to be similar to an iced coffee.
yeah, which that makes a bit more sense based on how we're getting this. It's not. It doesn't taste of coffee in that sense. Yeah, it tastes like a sort of a nice coffee, and it's pretty nice. I think I'm quite enjoying it. Oh, the can's changed since
Can
the book.
has changed. I prefer the old one.
the old one. Should we shove it up on the shove it up on
we
the screen
can
for the
try,
benefit?
Yeah, so you see there's the old one. I actually think that's superior. I think the new
well,
one is.
there we go.
The new one's quite boring.
Yeah, I prefer the old one.
The old one has got an actual like whole coffee pot on it. It's got like a nice. It's got faces
Yeah,
and that's
this
just
one.
a bit
This one just
boring.
looks a bit clip arty, doesn't it?
Yeah. Surly. I mean, it's called Surly Brewing. Do you want to know why it's called Surly Brewing?
Because they're miserable.
The came from when they were just the owners were just before they started it discussing the issue of bars with poor beer selections.
Mm-hmm.
The question was posed: how do you feel when you go into a bar and there is no good beer? They came up with a reply: you get surly and say, "Let's go to another bar that cares about decent beer," and thus Surly Brewing was born.
Okay.
Because they it was founded on the idea of the anger fueled by the inability to find good beer.
Okay.
Fine, I mean that's okay. I mean, I suppose that's a good mission.
I was going to say, yeah.
Good mission for a brewery to start. I'm not familiar with the brewery itself. I've never heard of Surly Brewing before.
No.
So it's a new one. We have another one from them to review as well.
Ooh.
It is Brewers Association say it's an independent craft brewery. Because the Americans know actually have to define craft.
Yeah, they define craft.
They define craft very, very easily with a very quantifiable way. Britain has yet to get to the point where here is just how good is the marketing.
You can't define craft brewery here because if you try and define it, it means that some of your favourite craft breweries aren't craft anymore. So that won't do.
Yeah, as soon as it's popular, it's no longer craft.
Yeah. Was this another bottle share one?
This was from the bottle share, the 1001 beer bottle share.
You've done so well out of this.
Yes,
share.
I've done very well out of the bottle share. So there's another wonderful one we got. I wasn't expecting to find this one anytime soon. So that was quite. Someone had obviously I think that's Patrick had been to the United States and been to the brewery.
Classic Patrick, of course.
Good old classic Patrick. Another classic Patrick. So very pleased to have that. This is good. Not one I was expecting to find anytime soon from Minnesota of all places. I think I've reviewed a hell of a lot of California beers just because I went there quite regularly, but I was never expecting to find that. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I got that.
Well, overall, it's a decent
yeah,
as far as coffee beers.
I think it's quite an interesting coffee beer. The basis it sets itself as a iced coffee beer style, rather than a coffee stout or a coffee porter. It is a brown ale with coffee.
Yeah, the thing to look out for with this one is the bitterness. A lot of coffee beers that I've had, and I guess you've had over the last few years, I tend to be a little bit of sweetness underneath that rounds out this.
Yeah.
This doesn't really have the sweetness. This is bitter coffee. But especially if you like coffee, this would be right up your street.
I think it's pretty good.
Perfectly acceptable. Yeah,
I'd happily. Someone said, "Here's a half of this." I'd be like, "Yeah, thanks very much."
Oh, a half. Oh,
I might have a pint of it, but they wouldn't do a half. They wouldn't do a pint in America. It'd be 2/3 probably in their whatever they call glasses, but they don't do pint glasses over there. Right, I think we'll leave that there. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you for another beer review very, very soon.